What's up, friends? How's it going? We're a little delayed on the live stream today, but it is going to be a great day. We got everything working and fired up for you guys. I'm excited because we got a great guest for you all, and I'm excited to have you wherever you're joining from. Let me know in the chat today. We've got the chat working, we've got everything working, and so hop in there and let me know where you're jumping in from on this happy Friday. I'm gonna just triple check here on the phone to make sure that the live stream is happening correctly. Let me know if everything looks good, sounds good, and we'll get rolling in just a couple of minutes. All right. Well, happy Friday to you, friends. It is going to be a great day here on the Friday live stream as we jump into some live stream reviews and lots of other fun stuff. I hope that life is treating you well. You know, live streaming is always one of those fun and adventurous things. You know, you just never know what's going to happen as the countdown begins. As we prepared for today's live stream, I was trying to get everything working, and we had everything prepped and ready, and it was one simple checkbox that was causing some issues. And then just as we were getting this thing going, my H2R graphics was saying, oh, you need to update your API YouTube key to show the comments on the screen. And so, you know, it's just one of those days where it's just going to be really fun. So I'm excited to have you guys here, though. And I see Bailey and Larry jumping in there in the chat today. And so we'll try to get this put together here if I can update my API key for my YouTube stuff in my back end of H2R graphics. I believe H2R has a tutorial on how to do that. Anyways, I hope that you guys are doing well. This has been a crazy time for me. We are having our final service in our worship center, and that is this Sunday. It's crazy. We'll be moving to 3 services in our youth center the next Sunday, doing 8 o'clock, 9:30, and then 11. And so it's going to be just a lot of fun. And so we've been prepping and getting everything ready for that. And so please say a prayer for me. But today I'm excited because we have a special guest that I am ready to bring on to the live stream and really dive into some great topics and evaluate some live streams with you guys. Because what if I told you that today on our live stream here on the channel, we're going to get to talk to somebody who was a pioneer in the cinematic broadcast for churches. Someone who has really innovated and pushed the boundaries for what it means to live stream and broadcast our church services, even going as far as doing HDR and different things and really pushing the envelope to do great things for God's glory, as we always say on this channel. So right now, help me welcome to the live stream the one and only Chad Vegas. All right, hey. Chad, how's it going, man? Let's go.
What's up? Thank you.
Chad, welcome to the channel, man. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Yeah, it's been a good day so far. Oh, I'm getting a little bit of loop back. I'm just messing with you.
Oh my gosh, don't even. That's an evil trick. Man, Chad is just a joy to have on the channel today. Chad, why don't you go ahead and just tell everybody, if they aren't familiar with you, where you're serving at currently and maybe some of your history with church production stuff.
Yeah. So currently I'm at Transformation Church with Pastor Michael Todd, and I am my official title is film director. However, I still do a lot of the live directing. So yeah, I'm there. Came from Bethel and Bethel Music, where I was the broadcast director there for a number of years. And prior to that, I was a media director at a church in Las Vegas. So yeah, just been doing this for 20 plus years, both corporate and church.
Wow. Okay. So what does your week-to-week kind of gig look like there at Transformation Church? And if people aren't familiar with Transformation Church, I'll try to pull up just some clips here so maybe people can kind of get a context of the space that you're living in on a week-to-week basis here.
Yeah. So day to day, it's, being over film team and creating some amazing music videos, we call them impact videos, our testimony videos, things of that nature. And then during the weekend, I am either live directing or training other volunteers to live direct. The beauty about one of the things that God's blessed us with is just our entire control room, our video system, audio. It's unmatched right now, unlike any other. I shouldn't say unmatched because there's definitely some better ones for sure. But we've been blessed, and it's been really cool to be able to not just play with the toys. My wife likes to say that I'm an Imagineer at Disneyland, right? And so not just play with the toys, but also to have volunteers running 95% of it, and on top of that, to be able to even launch them into a viable career. We've had camera ops that, started only knowing a little bit about cameras. And by the time they've been on the team for about a year, they were touring with Kirk Franklin in Maverick City. So it's been really cool to just even provide that option of, hey, come volunteer and you get training for free, right?
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Can you tell us a little bit of the history of Transformation? I mean, I'm familiar because you're just down the road here in 918, but tell us a little bit about how y'all arrived at this location, and it was a little bit of an adventure, right?
Yeah, no, so we started out in North Tulsa, and this is before I came on board, and basically just through I think it was like a Twitter post, somebody retweeted one of Pastor Mike's sermons, and it just went viral out of the blue, his sermon on relationship goals. And he basically was like, oh my gosh, what's happening? Just because, when things go viral, you never expect it. You don't go into something like that, right? Expecting like, yeah, this is going to go viral. But yeah, and the church just started growing and growing, and then I think it was 2018-ish. They moved into like 5 services, because the building that they were originally in is like a converted grocery store, and it started out as Greenwood Christian Center with our founding pastor Bishop Gary McIntosh, and the 5 services they did a conference, and during that conference, it was the first, they called it version 1, and they did it at the Spirit Bank Event Center. And towards the end, from the stories that I've heard, it was from towards the end of it, Pastor Mike was like, "This is where we're supposed to be," and so they ended up renting it out for like the next couple of weekends, and the Lord blessed the church, and they ended up buying the entire building, and then from there, that's when COVID hit, and I think they had like their grand opening, and there was like maybe 2 or 3 services or something, and they had to shut down.
Yeah.
It kind of turned into a blessing, because of the shutdowns. Like, okay, now we can actually remodel, the church, and we don't have to worry about just working a few days and then having a church service, or trying to have a church service somewhere else, because they were just packed out. And so yeah, and then that's when lockdowns were there, and then I got a call from our old production director Jeremy, and love that guy. And yeah, we just hit it off. He actually called. The funny thing is, he called for basically a like, hey, we need to hire a video director, and what are you looking for? What would you look for? And as soon as we got to talk to each other about our heart for worshiping through our craft and being able to really just help others, and so we got off the call, and I was like almost in tears. I'm like, Lord, what are you doing? I was really happy where I was at. We had our dream house. We were, beautiful by a lake, all this stuff, right in California. And yeah, he moved us up there, and gosh, it's been almost 3.5 years. And
Wow.
yeah, it's been good. It's been really cool.
That's amazing, man. And so Transformation Church obviously is super influential when it comes to the live streaming space. I mean, just when I think about y'all's, when COVID hit and the expansion of the reach of the gospel through Transformation Church, like y'all were one of the fastest growing, if not the fastest growing church in America. And you stayed closed for so long, but yet now on YouTube you have like over 2 million subscribers, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
It's very interesting. The our average I can't talk right now. Statistically speaking, it's just one of those mornings. We are on average between 25,000 to 35,000 watching online. I think it might be even more on a Sunday, with an average watch time of 30 minutes. A lot basically happened when we were closed. So we ended up having, because of the shutdowns. But when everything started opening up, we were still in the middle of our remodel and just making sure everything was done correctly. And so we just focus heavily online. What can we do to make them feel included, make them feel like they're a part of the service, and Pastor Mike's one of the, I don't think I've ever worked for a pastor that can follow a tally light like he can. And it's insane. Like he'll pick it up, and the way he transitions between cameras when he doesn't even know where I'm going, where I'm going to take it. We've come to a little bit of a rhythm now. So there's a little bit of a rhythm, but man, the way he addresses the online audiences and really includes them, even now when we're open to the public and all that stuff, and the way he does both, it's still amazing. And so yeah, it's been good. It's been fun.
Well, I remember a moment that one of your broadcasts like literally moved me to tears, dude.
Oh wow.
And when I think of creativity, and I think of the arts, and I think of what a broadcast can do, I think of this moment from a series called Welcome to the Deep. And I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen this one before.
And some of you have been living in this place in your life.
So
Is the storm
you
over
guys
yet? Is the storm
filled
going
up
to subside?
your lobby
Yeah.
And for
with
some reason,
a ton of water. You had Mike Todd
God
preaching
doesn't
from a
take you out of the
boat,
storm.
talking
He
about the
sustains
storms
you
of
in the middle
life.
of it.
And there
I'm
was this
trying to show
moment
you a practical
before
example
I
of
go
what
to this
having an
moment.
anchor does.
Can you talk about
And
this
can I tell you
setup for
something?
just
If you're
a
gonna
minute?
dwell in the
Like,
deep,
how
listen and
did you
write this
do
point
this?
down. The deep is
No,
not for
yeah.
devastation.
It was really funny because this setup was actually for a promotional shoot that we were doing for some new merchandise that we were gonna, sell, and they were like, "Hey, can we black out the floor and put some fog on there?" And gosh, I think it was like 2 years prior, I saw this fashion show, and they were walking on water, like a water stage thing, and I'm like, and it just popped in my head. I said, "Hey, what if we did like a water floor?" I'm like, "What?" And so I had to do like dig deep and find it, and so we did it for the promotional shoot, and PM was there, and he's like, "Hey, can we keep this for Sunday?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. That sounds great." And we just did the water, and then Tyler, who came with me from Bethel, and he's our systems manager here, he basically goes, "You want us to make it rain too?" And he's like, "What? You can do that?" And you're like, "Yeah, we probably could." And so the entire setup, to be quite honest, is super easy. It's only a few inches of water. It's a sprinkler system with a hose for the rain, and it costs way more in labor than we paid for the actual filling up that whole stage there. And and we just have, it was in our lobby. Because we were so close to the public, because we were still doing construction and all that stuff. So yeah, it turned out pretty cool. Yeah.
Well, there was this moment, if I can see my timer here, at about 51 minutes. Hold on. Right around in here, where
in the middle of the storm,
this transformation, when he, I just want to
when
let it play
Jesus
for a
woke
minute.
up.
Now you can.
Hey, storm, stop.
When that sunrise hit, dude,
Oh, y'all didn't see it in the Bible? And it said, silence, be still.
and that rain stopped, it was like, what a great creative use of all of this stuff to help hammer home this point that Mike was trying to share, right? That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So props, dude. I just wanted to share that.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah, and props to our friends over at DC Pro. They were the ones that helped us with all the LED and everything. So it was fun. It seems like forever ago now. Man, it was only about 2.5 years ago, I think.
isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yes. Love my DC Pro guys. They're handling all the integration for our remodel,
nice.
actually.
That's awesome.
Yes, Daniel and the guys there.
Yeah.
If you guys need help with anything, definitely hit them up. They're local here in Tulsa area as well. We are blessed here in Tulsa.
I know. It's
got
cool.
a lot of great stuff. So, hey, before we jump into some live stream reviews, there is something that you are known for, and that is a little saying called worship first and capture second. And I would love for you just to kind of share a little bit of the heart behind that, maybe expound on that phrase. I would love for our team, so many of the guys who watch my channel are the do-it-all worship and tech guys that maybe are managing those teams of, I've got a group of 14 through 18-year-olds that are my camera crew. And how can I get that message of worship first, capture second to translate? Like, what's the heart behind that, Chad?
Yeah, so it started out when we finally started utilizing volunteers at Bethel, because for a long time there, most of the cam ops that I had was staff. And so I wanted to figure out a way. I was like, Lord, how do I kind of give the volunteers like, hey, this is the reason why we're doing it. And as I was talking, I was talking about how the environment in which we've created here is a very safe environment. Don't worry about making mistakes. And if that happens, it's totally cool, you know. And within that, it just came blurted. I blurted it out. I said my main thing is that my wish would be that you would worship first and capture second. And it turned into something where it's really one of those deals where I am constantly reminded of, because I needed a way for people at home to feel what it's like in the room. And, you know, traditional coverage, traditional broadcast, it doesn't do that, right? It feels like it's just coverage, right? We're just covering what's happening. So how do we actually feel what's in the room? And for me, God was showing me that it goes all the way down to not just your director, but down to your cam ops, down to, you know, who's doing audio, who's doing sound. And because of that, if they're actively engaged with what's happening in the room and engaged with what the Lord's doing and what the Holy Spirit's revealing in the room, then it's easy for that to translate through the lens. Yeah, it's cool. I never expected it to take off like it did, but you know, it's God. And but it's been something now where I've actually, within the past, you know, even from getting sick and almost dying to now, where I really feel like it's been something for me that I've held on to, that I'm like, okay, Lord, yeah, this is something that I'll always do. You know, I'll worship first and capture second, and whether that's while I'm directing, or if I'm on camera, or even honestly down to when I'm spending time with God and my family, you know, for me, that's worship first, and my job is capture second, right? So yeah,
man. And I praise the Lord that you're doing better. I followed your journey there with your health and everything, and glad to see you on the mend and everything, and doing so much better. So
thanks, man.
Big praise the Lord there.
Amen.
Hey, before we jump into some live stream reviews, I'd love to play a little game with you, if that's okay.
I'm down.
All right, so let's have some fun. We're going to play a little game called Guess the Tech. If I can find my program feed. Come on. Where are you at, Multiview? I lost you. We're going to find it in just a second, guys, because we're going to play Guess the Tech. What was supposed to pop up. And now we're gonna play it.
Yeah.
You know, I only have so many outputs out of this MacBook Pro, so yep. I'm absconding the output from Pro Presenter over the other one, but then the downstream key's on, and then I'm full screen with other graphics, but it's all right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna play Guess the Tech.
Okay.
Some of this stuff is items that you have been using for years. Some of it maybe not in a while. And so let's just see if you guys in the chat maybe are a little quicker than Chad even. So let's throw up this first image here, and let's see if you can guess what that is.
Oh man.
Based on the silhouette.
It could be a Venice or a Komodo, but I'm thinking more Venice.
He's thinking Venice. What do you guys think in the chat? We got Flannel Knight says Komodo.
Because that looks like a PL mount. So.
It looks like a PL mount on it. Okay. Anybody else?
Granted.
Aura Red. Lincoln says Ursa. Well, Moment of Truth is A Sony
Hey.
Venice full frame 6K. Chad got it right. Good job. All
Stir
right.
those too much.
Our next one right here. I have no doubt that
Oh,
you
that
will
one's easy.
get this one. Let's see in the chat if anyone knows what this one is, though. I'm curious if anyone will get it, because this is something that you have a video on your channel actually about. If you guys don't subscribe to Chad's YouTube channel, he's got some great content on there. So this is something that I think I see you and others wearing and utilizing all the time. I've wondered about getting this for our own guys. We don't have like wired headsets. So what is this? And then tell us why this is so great.
Yeah, that's a point source audio CMI5.
Yes. And why is it so great?
So it's great because you can use your own in-ears with a really great mic. The CMI5 especially has active noise canceling on the mic itself. And so it's beautiful in loud environments, especially in our, we are in an arena. So it's really nice to be able to put in your in-ears, block most of the sound out, and have a mic that's noise canceling. So it's a really good hits. And their biggest thing is like get rid of the clamp, right? The headsets that come over, and you can feel that around your head, the pressure around your head. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Flannel Knight says, no clue. Some type of comm system. Yeah. Yep. But we did have Bailey who got it with the i5. So good job, Bailey. All right. How about this one right here, Chad?
Yeah. It's a dolly for sure. I don't know if it's a. Looks like a Fisher. Could be.
I don't know y'all's official one that you have. So
It's close. Yeah. We have a Panther dolly.
it is a Panther dolly.
Hey, look at that.
Is this y'all's actual model? or-
No, we got a different model. Yeah.
Okay. Because you have like a chair that you can sit in.
Yeah.
For the operator.
So you can sit in the chair, and then it can come off the tracks. There's built-in wheels on it, so that we could utilize it off the track. So.
Okay. Have you ever would you take that out for shoots and stuff, or you pretty much just use it?
We primarily we've mainly had it in the arena. However, what was it? Gosh, I think 3 weeks ago, there's a message that PM talked about. Let him cook, and we brought that into a kitchen, and so we had that going back and forth in the kitchen while we had a chef preparing some food.
Nice. Very cool. And what kind of camera is that? What you have? What kind of camera do you use on that one?
F5500
Okay.
Sony. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Here is your next one right here. It's a little blurred, but I doubt that anyone in the chat is going to get this unless they just are like avid followers of you guys. But maybe, I don't know. Let's see.
Oh man.
Chad, do you know the actual model name of this thing?
It's either the PM5 or PM10, maybe from Yamaha, or is this all video or audio too?
This is something innovative, new broadcast audio type thing that I guess you guys.
Lavo?
Yeah. What is so special about this? Do you know?
I don't know. I'm a video guy,
Okay.
but I do know that a lot of major broadcasting companies use them, and
It's like
I
completely
feel-
digital workflow or something.
Yeah, and to be honest, just the little things like I'll probably I think I have a video somewhere, but I'll probably post it. Like I feel like they're the Apple of consoles,
Okay.
because even down to this, like when it's locked, there's this little like tour badge that comes up with the name and stuff, and it just slowly swings back and forth. It's actually pretty funny.
Okay. Nice.
So those tiny details,
Okay. All right, here's a couple cameras. Guys in the chat, let's see how fast you can get these. I'm sure Chad will get these. All right. Here we go. And I'm not trying to trick you, I promise. There has been some new stuff that has come out. This is not the Pixis while we're waiting. What do you think of the Pixis? Have you looked at that at all from Blackmagic, the new box camera?
Yeah. I haven't really fully looked into it. It looks interesting though. I've never had, to be quite honest, for whatever reason, I'm one of those that's never really had an issue with Blackmagic going down, or there's probably only once on a constellation, but we've at Bethel too, we had those cameras for a while, and the Ursa Mini Pros. Yeah, I don't know. It looks more like a Komodo. Yeah.
And you guys are correct. That one is the Komodo 6K. All right, and then our next camera right here.
It's Panasonic.
Could
No,
be.
that's a Canon.
What do you guys think in the chat? Yeah, I could see like an EVA one kind of
Yeah, it
look
kind of
to
looks
it.
a little bit, but yeah, I think body-wise, it's one of the Canon.
Yeah.
C300.
Yeah. Yes, C300 Mark II. You got it. Good job. Good job. All right, last one. This is a lens. Seems like a very staple lens for people that are doing stuff in bigger productions.
Yeah. Fujinon. Gosh, the model is totally just like.
It is not a Fujinon.
Oh, so it's probably one of the Canon. Yeah, I can't think of the actual model name, but Servo Canon.
Servo Canon is correct. It is the 17 to 120.
Yeah, 17 to 120.
Yeah.
It's a nice lens.
They all kind of look alike, once you get those big Canon servos. So,
Yeah.
All right, friends, that was Guess the Tech. Hopefully you guys did well. Looks like we had some good participants there in the chat. Thanks for hanging out with us on that. That was fun. All right, cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, good job, man. You know your tech.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know model names. I'm just kidding.
Sometimes, I see the tech more than I see my wife sometimes, so I
Yeah,
better be able to
right?
recognize it. So.
That's true, man. When you're in production. Yeah.
Oh, gosh. All right, friends, it's time to jump into some live stream reviews. And right from the jump, I'm going to be selfish with it because we're going to go with my church first. And so, Chad, I'm going to let you watch our live stream. And actually, it's not even just our live stream, really. It's actually our behind the scenes cam. I've been recording one of our multi-views and our director because I'm always on stage, so I don't ever get to like hear or see anything that they're talking about or doing. So I don't ever know how to coach. And so for the last like 8 weeks, we've set up this that has just been live streaming to our another channel. And so let's just watch. This is our part-time tech director directing a few of our cam ops, and just give us any feedback for like directing style, anything you see. We are very open to any feedback and help, so I appreciate it, man.
Awesome.
All right, let's see here. I'll unmute this.
You can have a side shot of the singers. I'll come to you for that.
This is top of service, getting going. We have a little intro video that starts here. You guys in the chat, help me out as well. Any feedback that you see, if you guys
we do have
have any
baptism after
tips.
this song. Just keep that in mind. I'll let you guys know what's going on after this song, though. All right, here we go.
Well, good morning, Central. It's great to have you at church, whether you're in the room or watching online. We're so glad that you're here. Would you stand with me?
And Isaac, if you want to zoom in on the three singers, I'll come to you. Zoom out a little bit for me.
So come on, let's join our hearts and join
Electric coming to you.
to worship our great God.
And you're live. Isaac, pan down a little bit for me. And you're live, Isaac.
Nice, good.
How much are you directing your cam ops like that? Or do you have separate cutters? Are you actually pushing the buttons?
Yeah, no, so we do have they call it a TD, so a technical director that will push the buttons for me as I call the numbers out. The directing camera ops during a service, it's few and far in between now, just because we do have a training night, Thursday night with the worship team, so it's easier to kind of have them get used to that. For the most part, it's very rare now. They pretty much know kind of like how I direct, what I want, and any new person that's helping us out, they're basically being shadowed or from one of our team captains, or they are the ones watching one of our team captains kind of operate, and the team captains will let them know, hey, frame it up like this because Chad really likes it like that, things like that.
Okay, gotcha. I'll let you watch and listen just a little bit more here.
And Kyle, coming to you. You're live. Isaac, coming to you.
So right there, I would probably have lost the girl on that. I would have gotten just a little bit tighter to lose the girl.
Let's go back here.
Oh,
on that guitar shot?
Kyle, coming to
yeah.
you.
Right there.
Or,
Live.
you know,
Isaac
lose the
coming to you.
guitar player, you know, or
Yep.
what you could
Looking
do is, you know,
space.
yeah, one of the things all of my ops that I asked them to do is always have 3 shots in one take in their head. So what they could have done is
You want to get a different angle?
just a tight of the guitar, pan over, and grab the girl, you know.
Yeah. You're doing a lot of movement with your camera ops, even on like tight shots, right? Like they're kind of
Yeah.
always.
Yeah, they're doing something like I call the dance, and so their heads are kind of loose. You know, it just depends on what the op feels more comfortable with. Some of them like it like medium tension to really tight, and it helps them to get that movement. Some of them, I've had operators that just go to 0 on the tripod head, and that's the most comfortable for them. So yeah,
Gotcha. We don't have any tripod stuff going at all during worship.
nice.
We have 3 guys handheld. Well, we have one guy on a Roamer 1 is a walk around on a gimbal. Roamer 2 is handheld. Roamer 3 stage op is just handheld. The
Yeah.
rest of it's all just on tracks and doing stuff. Cable cam wasn't going that day. It was just sitting there. I guess it died. So, you know, with handheld stuff, with my guys that are just handheld, any specific techniques like I've seen a lot of your shots, like you'll do stuff where it's like you'll show their face and then kind of come down to hands, or any type
Yeah.
of call outs that
That's usually the 2 to 3 shots in one take kind of feel.
Gotcha.
So always coming from, if it's on keys, coming from the hands, going to the face. And part of it too is like, you know, the band works hard, they practice and all that. So I also want to showcase that, you know, who they are as well. And then movement wise, you know, a lot of times, the easiest way to say it is like turning yourself into a human gimbal. So your knees are a little bent, and as you walk, you're walking in like a heel to toe motion. You are depending on what kind of rig you have for your camera, you're either cradling it or, you know, holding it up to your chest and things like that. And as long as your knees are bent and you're walking like almost like a marching band, right? You're walking with that heel to toe motion. It's going to be fairly stable. Another advantage too to have is having a lens with stabilization on it.
Yes, absolutely. So, what about cuts versus dissolves? Are you ever using dissolves?
Never.
Never, ever, ever?
Well, I should say only going in and out of videos.
So even on like really slow songs?
Yeah. For me, it's an old style of broadcast that I just never liked, and so basically it was trial and error. Let's see how this looks, you know. And so we never do it.
Okay. I agree. I think, you know, I don't know if there's anything wrong with it.
Oh no, there's nothing wrong with it. If you're doing it on a slow song,
Right.
that one. If it takes away from the energy, the quote unquote energy from on a fast song, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not a lot of things I talk about too is that your eyes, right, subconsciously will tell your mind, you know, what's happening. And so a lot of times if you're dissolving during fast cuts, it just feels like it just mellow, you know, you don't get that high praise, right?
Yeah.
And so as you're cutting or dissolving, a lot of times some people, it just subconsciously they'll kind of check out, or, you know, they just won't. They might even move on to either doing something else for later. You know, it's a weird subconscious thing that happens.
Yeah. All right, I want you to watch and listen for another 20, 30 seconds. And if you can find one bit of advice for us, that'd be great.
Kyle, I'm going to come to you. Kyle, you're alive. Isaac, coming to you.
Is that camera on a handheld?
You're
as
live?
well?
Yeah.
That stage out? Yeah.
JC. You're live, JC.
So I think one of the things that I would do is making sure that your ops are actually really moving with the song. So that's, the tempo on that kind of picked up a little bit. The drums were kind of going hard, started to go harder. And so you want them to really move in that moment. So I think there was a shot too, they were kind of like panning up, but they were doing it a little slow, right? So you want to make sure you want to match the energy tempo of the song, and making sure that you are what is that stage up on guitar.
Yeah.
And this is all without context, right? It could have been his first time on camera,
Sure.
but having him kind of come in front of the guitar.
Yeah. Change
and
it up.
watch out. Yeah, change it up. A lot of times the just simple moves like that really just adds to the build, or adds to, big moments.
Cool. No, I think that's great. And I love what you're saying about bringing in the ops on rehearsal times and giving them some one-on-one training. We have like maybe once or twice a year some specialized training nights.
Right.
But we need to do more of that, to where we're able to really get, in the grind with them and show them, instead of having to like on the fly kind of teach them. They do some shadowing and stuff. But yeah, no, that's great thoughts, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, all right. Thanks, dude. I appreciate that. Let's go on to our next live stream review. I'm going to go ahead and get it pulled up. This is Grace Bible Church. They have 6 Black Magic 4Ks. They want to try and work on getting their camera operators a little better trained. And, some of the stuff we've talked about already, I think is, some great thoughts on that. Now, you do have some training stuff available. And if you want to, while I get this pulled up, will you talk about the opportunity that you have currently, I think, open? Don't you have something new kind of open right now?
Yeah, I do. So I haven't done it for a little bit, but I'm bringing back my mentorship program, which is basically 8 weeks of one-on-one calls with me. We go through technique, we go through, training, and basically I train you as if you were a part of my staff and I was going to make you one of my directors. And it's not just for individuals, it's for entire teams. I've had, I think at most maybe 20 some odd people in one session from a church, Pastor Mike Signorelli's church, V1 Church. So it's really cool. They had their worship team with their production team, and it was really good times there. But yeah, we do. I go over your service from previous, Sunday, and give you some. I break it down, give you some, tips, help you, coach you through like, hey, this is part of what I would do, things like that. Even down to audio and lighting, and making sure like, hey, we're lighting for video first.
Yeah. So chadvegas.com to get that, or reach out on social.
chadvegas.com/apply, or the link in my bio on Instagram.
Cool.
Thanks.
All right. Well, let's look at Grace Bible Church. Whenever I pulled this up earlier, I noticed they have a little different way of doing their intro that I'd love to get your opinion on. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So it sounds like we got live band going on with some B-roll here, kind of showing the people coming into church, kind of vibe, which is a little different. I wasn't sure at first if this is like a track, but it actually ends up being their live band. So
that's cool.
I appreciate the effort here. Let's just kind of see how this transition works here in a moment. Do y'all do something similar to this?
Sort of. It's more of just a bumper, a little worship bumper that we have. Yeah.
That's what we do too. Do you have a live band playing underneath it, or is it just
no, it's a track, yeah.
That's what we do too.
Good morning, Grace Bible. Go ahead and stand on your feet. Let's worship the Lord together.
Cool.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah. I would have gone to a wide. So one of the things I do a lot is I always come in on a wide. For me, that's an establishing shot. Like, hey, you're here. This is where you're actually at. You're now in the sanctuary.
Absolutely.
So I'll always start on wide. So that would be the thing when they go into that baptismal tank, come into the room in a wide. The other thing I would do is just that shot on the keys. I would just lower it a little bit. For me personally, it's just a little bit too high in an angle. So just almost eye level, right? If you're thinking, if I was sitting, yeah, just a little bit, not a lot.
Yeah. I like that it's on a slider that's got some movement on
Yeah.
it. Gotcha. That's cool. So we got one on sticks here on a Pocket 4K. Framing looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I love what you're saying about that establishing shot. I always hammer that home with people. Just like, I think that the struggle a lot of times, and what would you say if this church maybe has iMag, you know, how do you handle that with iMag if you're not doing a separate cut? A lot of churches that I see are doing iMag and they worry about throwing wide shots up there.
Right. Yeah. So we currently just do program feed into the iMac. So we do have we had it set up before where we did basically with our system we can do a destination a bus follow they call it. And so whenever I would take a wide shot for us, which is one of our big jibs, camera 5, it would automatically cut to camera 4 out of a separate ME. So oh Philip, what's up, man? Yeah, so I am not opposed to it. It's basically something I talk about a lot too, is making sure that your leadership team knows about it and are okay with it. Because some leaders just don't, you know, they feel like, no, it'll probably, if there's a wide shot, it'll take people away from what's actually, you know, what they want. But for the most part, most pastors will be like, oh yeah, well, you know, we're okay with it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I'll let you watch a little bit more here and listen, and let's see what other thoughts we can give here to Grace Bible Church.
Yeah, on this, I would come down and hit on that wide, that 45 angle. Just come down and hit shot and give it just a little bit more looking room, because your main worship leader or your guitar player was basically, his face was against the edge of the frame there.
Got some shake and tripods. Any ideas for what to do when subs are given tripod shake like that?
Yeah, a lot of it comes down to being nervous. So what will typically happen is they're holding on to the handlebars way too tight. And it's just a natural thing. It comes basically from when you're live, right? You're like, oh shoot, I'm live. And so you want to make sure that you're just telling your ops, hey, go ahead, relax, it's cool. A lot of ops, especially for like your main follow cam, a lot of our ops will actually just do 3 fingers on the handlebars, just so it's a little smoother.
And y'all are on separate platforms?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, not everybody thinks about that, you know, but if you can do separate platforms, ours is even like a savvy type mount where it's bolted to the ground.
Yeah.
Metal pole kind of thing. What do you think about shots like this where it's kind of from the back of people and you can't really see their faces, you can't see the crowd?
Yeah.
I mean,
I love them, just don't stay on it for too long. I would just do like maybe 1 or 2 beats, you know? That one shot, can you go back like just a couple of seconds?
This one?
Quick? I'll keep maybe one more. There, that shot right there. So this is what I was kind of talking about, where you want to give them looking room. I understand that you're trying to get the girl and him in the shot, but what I would do is either get her and the electric guitar, or just get the electric guitar and the acoustic. There's been studies on it where it subconsciously, when something's at the edge of the frame like that, where you don't give them what I call looking room, it makes people feel uneasy. It's interesting. And if you notice, like they're during really tense moments in a cinematic movie, sometimes they'll frame it like that. So just for me, it's like being mindful of that and making sure that you're giving them, basically you're telling the person at home, like, hey, we're looking towards the sanctuary.
Love it. Absolutely. What about head to toe shots? Where are you cutting off things? Like, are you cutting off at knees, total feet, head to toe kind of things? What's your
head to toe shots, completely head to toe. There's another shot I call I don't call it, but it's called a cowboy shot. And so that's like picture the old Western movies, right, where they had the guns. They wanted to show the guns in those Western movies. So the shot would be basically just a little bit below their waist to their head there.
Gotcha. What do you think about that kind of shot where you're
I would
really
the pit shot. I would just frame it up a little bit more centered if you're gonna have all three there. A lot of times for us, we're shooting on a third all the time. So the only one that kind of doesn't shoot on a third would be our main follow cam. But everybody else, they're always on a third.
Gotcha. How are y'all doing lower thirds? Do y'all do lyrics on top whenever you're live streaming on Sundays?
Yeah, so we do our lyrics through Pro Presenter. Our lower thirds and videos actually comes down through something called Ross Expression.
Gotcha. I mean, for me, when I'm watching this stream, I like the cut energy that went with that song. The cameras seem to match pretty good. I like the creativity that you're at least trying to go for with your different shots. I think there's a lot of good stuff going on here. Let's listen just for a minute. Maybe we can get some feedback for if we hear anything. And if you see anything else, shout it out too.
All my words are short. I've got nothing new. How could I express all my gratitude? I could sing these songs.
So like here, is that enough looking space?
Yeah,
or
that's for me. That's great for me.
That's
I would
good?
probably put the electric just a little bit closer to the edge of the left frame.
Okay,
But it's really good.
sure. Just enough to where he's on that other third is what
Yeah.
you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the vibe here. I'm going to go to maybe where it's a little bigger.
Yeah.
Camera shake. It's tough.
That looks like it's more from the subs though.
Yeah, it
too.
does. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's the kick drum every time it hits.
Yeah. It's not too bad.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I'm glad they lit up their drummer somehow.
Yeah.
A lot of times they're in the dark.
Yep.
I mean, if the crowd had a little more light on them, I think that, that could help.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I think getting some wash out there on the crowd to kind of show people it actually helps make people feel like they're a part of it when they can actually see a crowd.
Yeah. Awesome. Hey, I think, Grace, you guys are doing a great job. Take some of that stuff and maybe keep pushing forward. So
Yeah. No, it's great.
as we prep for this next live stream from Christian Life Center, I want to ask you, Chad, Sunday is always coming. We're always trying to, push and make it better and better. How do you evaluate? How do you pause and say, Sunday was a success? That live stream was a success. How do you know when you scored a touchdown? That is something that is a struggle in ministry sometimes because we're always moving the goalposts, it seems like sometimes. So for you, how do you reflect on that? Do you actually have evaluations? What do you do?
Yeah. So a few things for me is I know it's a success when I actually felt the Lord as I was directing, right? Or even if our volunteers are directing, like if I can feel like God moving in that moment, I'm like, yeah, we're good. Even if there's mistakes, right? Because it's a live environment, there's always going to be mistakes, But that's one of the biggest gauges for me. It's like, okay, yeah, we did good. The second part is definitely watching back services and taking notes. We're starting up again. We're going to start up some like more, I guess you could say deeper training, next month with our team. And so within that, I want to bring in, hey, this is what happened last Sunday. This is great. Hey, what if we did this instead? Things like that with our team. And then the third thing is this it's kind of not related to the question, but it popped in my head. Is what I always do is I'll go back and listen to Pastor Mike's sermon or whoever's preaching that Sunday. I'll go back and listen to the sermon because, you know, when I'm there or I'm either what if I'm directing or, you know, if I'm not directing, I'm not typically talking to the director and kind of training them and, hey, he's probably going to go to his left now, so try to be ready for that. Always have an out, you know, like a wide shot to go to if he takes off running, right? And so my mind is just constantly going to, you know, different places. And on my comm station, I have like 10,000 channels, and I listen to I have to have most of them up because, you know, you just never know what's happening and if something changes or shifts. But so I always go back and I listen to, you know, to my pastor, and it helps you stay connected. You know, it helps you kind of like, oh, that was a great part of the sermon, you know, like, yeah. So
that's cool. Very good stuff. Very good. It's just, you know, we get in the grind, and sometimes it's tough to know whenever it's like, okay, is what we're doing working, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So it's just good to think about that.
A lot of times too, if you guys are getting comments from, you know, people online, like take those comments and share them with your team, or, you know, show them the impact that their yes is having. And it just exemplifies and helps, like, okay, yeah, even if they feel sometimes they're like, oh man, I could have done a better job, you know, but hearing those testimonies are like, okay, yeah, we're good, you know.
Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yep. All right, let's jump into Christian Life Center's live stream review. They've got a few different cameras, Sony Z280s. They've got some Pocket 4Ks, and they were saying kind of one of the struggles they might look for some advice on is just matching cameras, and the fact that they are running vertical IMAG screens, so they have to center frame all of their shots. It's kind of a unique thing. So let's watch this and see if we can kind of understand what they're talking about here. All right, this is Christian Life Center.
I know how this story ends. See, I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. The battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory.
Nice, good movement there.
I'm gonna see a victory.
So shots like this, for me, it's I feel every time I see it, sometimes even once in a while our cam ops will do it, and I said, hey, I don't want no security cameras here. So it's one of those things.
The pan across thing?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I don't mind them doing it a little bit, but as they do it, either do like more of a whip pan, or if they're going across as a director, I'll just take it super quick, you know, go in, come right back out.
Gotcha.
Thank you for the victory, this victory in His name.
It's a little hard with those crossfades, but
Yeah.
sorry, Ben. I know this church, so yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, I know Benjamin. Yeah.
So you would
Headroom
not.
for me is just a little bit too much there. Yeah.
Gotcha. A little too much headroom.
So this is a hot take for me. The main shot, a lot of times you want to get the person behind them, their hit in it. For me, it's either or. I don't necessarily mind if it is, or sometimes I'll tell the op, hey, just give me the main singer or whoever's there. I don't care if you cut off the head of the other person. But yeah.
Especially tough when you're on multiple levels, you know, like on stages like that. Yeah, to know, like, should I cut off the electric guitar's head behind them? I wish we could see these vertical IMAG screens.
Yeah.
How often do you cut off of the main melody singer? You know, they're popping around a bunch of different singers here that I've noticed. Is that confusing for a viewer? She did kind of take over the lead there, but how often are you popping between? Do you know that as a video director, who's gonna?
Yeah. So we have two things. One, it helps for me just because, like I was saying, 10,000 channels of comms. It helps for me to have an assistant director, and their primary job is to our producer who helps call Basically, they hear that, I hear that, but the cam ops don't, because sometimes the producer are they're yelling out numbers, and so I don't want that to confuse, the cam ops. So we hear it, we repeat it to the cam ops. So the assistant director basically does that and call out, hey, this next song is going to be Destiny, and Destiny's wearing a jeans jacket with a blue shirt.
Okay.
So it helps our ops actually like, oh, that's Destiny, because sometimes they can't come to rehearsals, and some of them are still new to the church, so they don't know exactly who each worship leader is. But I'll cut to a lot of background vocals, just depending on the tempo of the song.
Gotcha. They're getting after it, though. Give them that, man.
No, I love it. Yeah. I think the only thing for me is just if we could get a full wide shot sometime.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know? Especially on big like
Big
after
moment, you go to
every
wide?
build, I always go to the wide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think about cam ops on stage in shots? No big deal?
Yeah, for me, it's not a big deal. I try as much as I can not to do it, but if it happens, it happens.
What about showing people worshiping from the front instead of from the back like they're doing? Do you guys do that?
Yeah, we do that too. I feel like we're the staple of those memes that you see of the, they're crying and somebody's like right in their face with a camera. But what I tend not to do is try not to hang on that for a long time. So like show it really quick and then get away, especially because we have our program feed on iMag. I don't want is for them to feel embarrassed or like, you just
they're
never
on the
know.
screen and then all of a sudden the hands go up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
All right, I think you gave some good thoughts in there. Just little camera tweaks that they could make. And
Yeah. The handheld camera for keys and drums, the only thing I would do is have them walk around and wrap around a little more. What I'm seeing there is something I call the boat sway. And it's, so when you're on the boat, you're going back and forth. So making sure that they're either wrapping around or wrapping behind, is always great. So
Here's a question from Larry. What are your thoughts on doing things like picture-in-picture on a live stream, where you're utilizing, like, here's the worship leader, but then we're showing the rhythm section on like a super source or something like that?
Yeah.
Have you ever done that?
We've done it in the past. With the new system, we haven't gotten to that spot yet. But yeah, some of the things that Tyler and I have been dreaming up is going back to doing a four image pip, where we have the worship leader, and then on the sides is drums, guitar, or bass, or even another singer. So I actually love it, and I think we should be doing more of it. I think it not only showcases what's kind of like happening in the room. It's kind of like your fake wide shot, right?
Yeah.
But also, it brings something different, and it shows people at home like, oh, because even for me, I'm a musician too. So sometimes like, man, I wish I could see the guitar right now, or I wish I could see the drummer. For me, a lot of what I tell my ops is what I hear is what I want to see. And so because I'm a musician, so there are times when I'm like, hey, pick up the bass, because I can hear the bass line go, especially with Matt being on bass. For us, he's a killer bass player. So yeah.
Nice. Are you ever calling cam ops by name, or is it always, are you saying ready 2, take 2, ready 3, take 3? What are you saying?
I call just numbers. So I will say 2, 2. So they all know as soon as they hear the first number, that's their preview. They're getting ready, and then 2. And there's some other techniques that I basically train the ops in, of always basically moving and walking around like you're actually live the entire time. So it helps them to basically move around. Oh, that's great. Yeah. Sure. Hey, man, don't give me any ideas.
Thanks, Josh. That's a good idea. I like that. We don't want them to see everything. That would be scary. If they want to watch our whole multi-view, just go to that channel, right? I've got it streaming. So, and then Bailey says modern solutions to modern problems.
That's great.
Adam asked a question. When it comes to your weekend directors, are all of your live directors paid positions, or do you utilize volunteers as directors? What are y'all doing there at Transformation?
95% volunteer ran, including directors. So the only paid director is myself. And biggest thing for me is kind of going back to what I said earlier of it's a viable learning position that they could go out and actually make a career out of. So as much as possible, I want them to feel empowered as much as, so I'll sometimes throw them on when they're just a little bit green, now there's constant communication, right? There's times when, PM's like, hey, what happened on that shot? I go, oh, I was training a new director. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. Things like that. But for the most part, I think there's maybe one other person in the room that's staff, and that's my DP. And he also helps with our new system with the live LUT that we incorporated for us. That is basically his bread and butter. He's my normal film director, and then he comes in as a DP on Sundays to help shade with the shading position. So other than that, and within that, he's training volunteer shaders to do what he does too. So we're just constantly training and making sure that we have the people. And then there are times, they're volunteers and they're adults, and sometimes they can't make it. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's totally fine. And, one of the beauty about Pastor Mike and our leadership is like, if there was a service where we had to lock off all the cameras, we only had one person, then they're cool with it, because they understand it's volunteers. It's, they're not paid staff. So.
Well, speaking of live LUTs and kind of going back to that, how do we get different kinds of brands of cameras to match of that last church? How do you guys tackle that? You got, some different cams there. What's kind of in your go-to to get all your cams to look good together?
So, although we have different models of cameras, they are all of the same family. That is the biggest thing. It's harder everybody has different color science. Even down to, for like right now, all of our cameras are in S-Log Cine 3. So because it's in log, it helps with throwing on the LUT and making that look. However, if we had a couple of other cameras like a Canon or, even one of the old Panasonics that we used to use, it's harder because even their log or their, raw, Blackmagic RAW, things like that, they use a different type of color input and output. So it's easier if they're all of the same family. If they are not, a lot of times it can come down to some cameras just can't open up their iris as much as another camera, and you can match it that way. And then throwing on, if you're going to use a LUT, throw the LUT on. What I would do is record. What we did here is when we were testing, we recorded all of the cameras, basically just cut every minute or so to a different camera. Then we brought it into Resolve, and then we created the live LUT for it. So that way, and we kind of made sure that it kind of matched all the way across the board. Yeah.
What white balance are you guys set at there?
4,200.
Oh, wow. Okay. A little lower than a lot of places I've been talking to.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's just whatever works,
No,
as long as it's consistent. So
yeah. And it for us, it brings out the skin tones. We're part of a black church.
Is that a thing?
Multi-generational for sure, but
okay.
It helps with the skin tones for us, and it makes it look, it's kind of like that almost in between of daylight and warmth of, that, so.
Okay, so that would be a tip then for people that have like African American churches. The warmer light tones is going to help maybe bring out those skin tones on camera more.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, that's good to know. Well, I'll have a lot of Source 4 ellipsoidals for sale soon. So if you need those, I've got some old school ones for you. 3200. Let's go. Last question before we move on to the next one. Does TC have a production channel?
We do have a production channel. However, we have been just so busy learning. It's been almost 2.5 years, and it took us this long to learn the system well enough to do a live LUT. So it's just our system is huge, and so we're constantly trying to make sure we learn everything, make sure we got things, got things dialed down now. We're not trying to be perfect by any means, but we also want to have it so that way it's whenever we do get to that point where we would, live stream a multi-view, that things would go well for just on the back end, to be quite honest. But yeah.
Sure. Judah also asks, how do you work with the lighting director when it comes to video? Are you guys every week working together? Or have you kind of figured out a system? I mean, are you just watching the multi-view? What are you doing?
So the live director does have a multi-view, and basically it's constant communication with our shader. So my DP, and a lot of times it's, hey, we're gonna we're gonna make it moody, right? We're gonna cut off all of the face light, the key light. And when that happens, they say that over comms before they do it, so that our shaders can be ready to, okay, well, we're gonna have to open up. So right now, because of the live LUT, it's allowed us to basically be fully open on our iris, but all of our cameras have built-in ND. So our neutral density filter is basically at level 4, I believe.
You are using ND during...
Yeah. So
wow.
we basically live off of ND now. And for the most part, all of our lenses are fully open at either 2.8 or some of them are at 1.4. Gives us that beautiful, still cinematic, shallow depth of field, right? And so within those moments, basically the shader, whoever's shading, whether that's my DP or volunteer, will open up the ND, by a stop, or maybe push, if we're not exactly at 2.8 at that time, they'll push it open for a little bit.
Are they electronic ND, or like where they gradually go, or it's not like a click?
No, it's electronic, but you can definitely see it on
the
the wheel will turn it,
Don't do it live.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, but just constant communication with the LD. A lot of times it's what's helped is the LD actually basically going, hey, we're going to do this now. And sometimes, we'll even call out, hey, can we get 10% less of the key light, And
sure.
So, yeah.
That's great. Okay. For real, last question before we go to our next
you're
one. Have you guys dealt with volunteers who feel like they need to be around and give input all the time, like regardless whether they're actually scheduled that week? Do you have people that just like you can't get them out of the booth?
Yeah. Now, it's a little different for us. So my biggest thing is never to build a great production team. It's to build an amazing family. So I don't mind them hanging around, but at the same time, they're hanging around because they just want to be with family, right? Now, if they're trying to give input and things like that, there's times when it's one of those things is like, oh, that's awesome. I'll still take it down and write it down. I'll still take it and chew on it, because sometimes it could be great, great advice that, oh yeah, you know what? I never thought about it like that. It'd be great if we did this shot like this, right? But for the most part, I would say with people that want to hang around and give input, throw them in a leadership position. Yeah. Grooming is the wrong word. Sorry. But like, give them a leader, have them start, people start shadowing them, have them. And the biggest part of that is they have to know your heart and what you're going after. So, with our volunteers, showing them what it's like, showing them what we want it to look like, and then at the same time, as they, with our team captains now, they're pretty much leading the team.
Yeah.
And so as long as they know your heart, they know the vision, they know your why, they want to have them start leading, and sometimes it might not work out,
Sure.
And that's just a part of leadership. You might put them in a position, it might like, whoa, it would go sideways, but if it does.
Oh man, did I lose Chad? Come on back, Chad. I may have lost Chad. That's okay, though. If we did lose Chad, hopefully I'll get him back. I'll keep watching for him. It could have been me. Could have been him. Who knows? Well, hey, if you're thankful for what Chad has been sharing, I'll look at this camera, not that one that was over there. Why don't you give some thanks to him in the chat today? If he's able to hop back on, we'll get him back on for this final live stream review. just a wealth of knowledge, like so much experience, so much that he's learned on the job, and super thankful for him giving his time to be able to hop on and give some wisdom today. And really, like, just hearing his heart over the years and even today is encouraging to me as somebody like you guys, putting in hours upon hours into the live streaming stuff. Like, it's just really, it's encouraging to hear another guy who has the heart behind it. And so Chad's back, and so I'm going to get him back into the window over here into the ATEM. So give me just a sec. Oh, he's gone again. He doesn't, he teased me. And he's back. All right, Chad, I hear you.
No, yeah, sorry about that.
You're good. I'm going to get you back into my little capture window here.
Awesome. My that landline I had went down again.
That's fun.
Interesting.
That's really
Gonna have
fun.
to fix that.
Yeah, we got fiber here, and it's been good, but not without issues. So
Yeah, I think it's my. I have a, for editing and things like that, I have a 10 gig network in my home. So I think the adapter might be going out. So.
all right, we're almost there. And put you there. Cool. There. Sweet. All right, we're back. All right, let's go to this last live stream review. This is Panium City Church. I'm not sure how to say it, but they have a very different setup, and they're rocking some Blackmagic 6Ks for a wide shot, some 4Ks for drums and side views, a Sony A7, and the audio is going interesting enough, like a matrix through waves, and then into OBS, and then also then routed into Ecamm. So there's a lot of layers to that, which I wouldn't usually want to do. So we'll see, how it sounds. But let's see how this looks and sounds, and we'll give them some thoughts.
No other God can be called a friend.
Yeah, it does sound good.
No other God can be called redeem. No other God's coming back.
There's like little clicks I'm hearing though, like in the audio, so I don't know where that's happening in the chain.
No other God can be called a father.
She can sing though.
No other God can be called a friend. No other God can be called redeemed.
That's an old. It could have been a mistake, but also, I call it Dutch, right?
Yeah.
No, Dutch angles, just a little. It's old school. It's just a little weird sometimes.
Is the whip pan gonna be the new Dutch angle soon?
It could be.
You guys still doing
there's
it?
Definitely times. Yeah, we still do it. There's definitely times when it works, but sometimes I don't take it all the time.
Are you ever getting your ops to do whip at the same time in the same direction to where it looks like a transition?
It's happened before, yeah.
You don't plan it though.
And a lot of it's coordination between, like, they'll be looking at each other as they're in their peripheral vision as they're doing it, and I'll see it. Sometimes I miss it, sometimes I see it, and I'm like, oh, this is perfect,
Yeah. What do you think about this framing right here on the tight shot?
Yeah, I don't know if there's no op there.
Right.
I would just come down in my headroom a little bit, because she, as she's worshiping, she's going lower. If there is an op, still come down in your headroom, but follow them, man. If they go down, keep that. I like to say keep your headroom at the same line all the time.
Are you keeping tripod heads like just pretty loose then during worship?
For worship, yeah, it depends on the op. They can make it, as loose as they want or tight as they want, and because they're always constantly there's always constantly movement. I love that there's this wide shot too. It's great. I'd probably come down a little bit in the headroom.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah, crouch shot super quick. Boom, in, out. Nice. It's hung a little bit too long on those drums, but I like it. And then I cut off right here.
Yeah, I haven't seen any moving shots, so they may all just be locked off shots.
Yeah, it could be.
But honestly, the audio is bringing it. This one must be a handheld, somebody getting some shots in the room.
Good framing there. I like that.
So is that's too long?
The foreground.
You think that's too long? Okay.
I mean, with the dancer and the flags, it works. I would probably just not do so much. One move and then cut off.
Lower thirds leave a little bit to be desired for me. They're just real plain and real small.
Yeah, and make it a little bit bigger and even bring it down just a little bit.
And also, it's like you're broadcasting in Cinema 4K instead of actual 16:9. So you got little black bars where it doesn't look like it's on purpose in your pockets. So I would choose actual the right aspect ratio in your camera outputs.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that transition.
That was cool. I would also say for audio, for me, that's cool. I like that. And then right here, yeah, good. That was a good cut. There we go. Not hanging on too long. I would probably even just move just a little bit faster because they're starting to build the song. But I was gonna say the audio, her vocals sound really great. I would just a little bit more mixing to kind of have the band in there a little bit more if you guys have them in there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
How do you deal with you ever been in a church with ambient light, windows and stuff like this?
Yeah. It's hard.
You gotta have a lot of key light, I'm assuming, and if you don't have light shaders,
you really gotta fight it. Tons of key light, or you ISO up a little bit, and open it up a little bit more, and just pay attention to the highlights, especially if there's I can see I don't know if it's the pastor or somebody behind it with a white shirt. For me, what I always tell my shaders is that if they are if you can't see the wrinkle in their shirt or just detail in the shirt, that's you're way too hot, you're way too open. So
okay. What about do y'all have dress code for people on stage as far as no white shirts?
No, they basically get to wear whatever they want. They do have I think, what do they call it? A style guide, kind of hey, we all want to match for this Sunday, let's all match, and so they'll send out a style guide and stuff.
But not for on camera,
No, just plain black. We have Jared, one of my main camera ops. He came with me from Bethel too. But we have discussed what would it look like if we did follow the style guide, so our cam ops would kind of blend in a little more. But yeah. Oh, nice, awesome.
Gideon, you have any questions?
Shot, I think, earlier.
Yeah, it was a cool gimbal shot. We saw those windows in the background. Is this a setup teardown church, Gideon? Because if it is, it's a lot of work that you're going through. I'm just seeing a lot of It looks like maybe you're having to set up tear down every week, maybe, or it's just a smaller space. A lot of churches are like this, though. You don't have the luxury of, being able to just tweak things week in and week out. Like you have a smaller space and you're just making it work. This is the only place you can put a drum shot. It's like up above in the back. So you make it work.
Yeah.
With plexiglass shields, how do you handle drum shots with plexiglass shields, Chad? Because that is a tough one.
Polarizer. That's what we see as a Bethel.
Okay.
I think we had a polarizing.
So just getting a polarizer to fight through that glare?
Yeah. Helps fight through the glare. And sometimes, I think a lot of times they would kind of just come at in an angle, like a tilt up a little bit, if I remember correctly. Don't have that issue where I'm at right now. We do have, I think every once in a while, is it still up there? He has those smaller, like those circle shields that kind of...
Shy baffles kind of thing.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, if you're set up in teardown, you guys are doing a great job.
Yeah.
If you're looking for any tips on setup
Image
teardown,
quality looks great too.
Oh, it really does. Yeah. I'm very impressed with it. Audio mix sounds great. I would just say I don't know that you need to go in between 4 devices. Like, it's just more things to go wrong, probably. Unless you're doing things in those to make it better. But I'm a fan of hardware encoding. What is y'all's final step for encoding to YouTube?
We use Resi.
Okay. But now you're not doing are y'all multi-campus currently?
No, not yet. No. Yeah. We do have a decoder. Decoder that goes. It basically, if PM's preaching somewhere that doesn't have a Resi box or a encoder, we'll send one out, and so that way we can pipe him in. And we've done, I think, like Elevation a couple of times, View Church, and so we'll have them come in. We'll have worship, and then we'll throw PM up to preach from wherever he's preaching at.
Gideon says that their reference video is Transformation Church with Fred Hammond. Does that mean anything?
Oh, nice. Yeah. That was back. I was actually sick when that happened. We had to, for a season, we had to move back to our original campus because the arena, there was just no place to go. They were doing a lot. We went from the arena to the lobby, then back to the arena, and then they're like, oh, we actually have to have you guys out so we can finish this. Okay, so we went down to our old campus. We were broadcasting from our old campus at that time. Yeah.
Nice. Hey, those are some great thoughts for these churches. And I'm going to spend another probably half hour doing some more reviews. But Chad, I want to say thank you for spending time with us today. And I'd love to know, before you go, in life, in ministry, what is something that like you're just excited about? Like, what's something that you're waking up in the morning and you're going to bed at night, like you're just kind of excited about it? It doesn't have to be about live streaming. It could be some new piece of tech you're thinking about implementing. I mean, you guys have done so much, whether that's Elisa, 3D surround, full immersive audio in your campus versus HDR live broadcast to, there may be something like that, but I just am curious, what's Chad excited about?
Yeah. To be quite honest, I've been back on my health kick. So there's 2 things that I'm really excited about. Is I would say 3 things. One is getting my boundaries back. This has been for the past few months, and what that means is I'm not overworking myself. That I'm making sure that when I'm home, I'm present. I'm there with my kids, with my wife, and when it's time for my days off, unless there's something like a album release coming out or things like that, my kids know Friday, Saturday, it's dad time. And so I'm really excited about that, and got working out, getting healthy again. That's probably the three things that is really exciting. The coolest thing is I was over at Salt last week. Yeah, I think it was last week. And I was so at a place with my health that I was healthy enough to take my son up to the tallest water slide at a water park. We were staying at the Great Wolf Lodge, and so I was able to do that twice with him without really huffing and puffing or losing my breath at all. And so for me now that I'm at in this whole thing about getting back getting healthy, losing weight and things like that, it's just super exciting for me to be able to finally be with my kids and actually be able to play with them. And so, yeah.
That's awesome, dude. Nothing more important than that. And I think that it's a side of our health as worship and tech people that gets neglected oftentimes. We work long hours, and not only do we neglect our bodies, but we oftentimes can neglect our families. And I think it's a really good word. I'm glad you're excited about it. And, I appreciate you sacrificing a little bit of that time to share with our community here on YouTube. And I know that the guys in the chat and those that'll watch in the future, if you guys will just, give Chad a word of thanks. And I really do appreciate you and what you mean to our community. I know you give back so much. And so truly, thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Oh yeah, man. Of course, I'm honored. Really quick, one last thing though about long hours and working long hours. We do that here as well. I had a 13-hour day yesterday, but my wife was doing something else with her organization that we have against human trafficking called Stand for Justice. Go look at stand4justice.org. But we have incorporated, for me and our production team, our families can come with us. They can come into work while we're rehearsing. They can be with us. They can be a part of it. So if you don't do that already, start doing that. And if it's not happening or something, your leadership's like, I don't know, just have open communication with them. Say, hey, I'm here for 13 hours today, and I would love to have my family, even if it's something as small as having them come over for dinner. So that way you're still integrating family life and work life, but in a healthy way where your family can, and it helps too, because my sons get to see oh, this is what dad actually does. This is how, and I'll throw them on the console every once in a while. Hey, hit those numbers for me, So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, try to incorporate that as much as you can, especially when you're doing long Christmas, it's coming up. Try to have your family with you as much as possible.
That's great, dude. Yeah, we always joke because my wife now has worked across the wall from me. She's our kids minister full time, and we joke because
That's awesome.
I always say if I wanted to see her, I had to make her get a job here at the church. So
That's great. That's
it's
awesome.
been
That's
amazing,
perfect.
though. It's been amazing. I have 3 kids. 2 of them serve on the tech team, and they love it.
So great.
It's a blessing, and the balance there as a ministry family is you don't want to force your children to be at the church all the time, and you have that danger in the back of your mind of am I going to make my kids fight not want to be here? But I grew up in the church, and I loved the church. I was there all the time, and my kids love it to this day. And so I'm just praying that continues, and seeking God's wisdom on that and what to do. But yeah, man, that's good. That's a good word.
I think the biggest shift is now instead of my son being, oh, the church is taking my dad away, it's oh, but my dad's at work and I can be there too. There's no wall there. So
Yeah.
that's cool.
That's
well,
awesome,
thanks
man.
for having me, Mo.
Absolutely. I'm glad we did this, and we'll do it again sometime. Go spend some time with the fam and enjoy the weekend. And I hope that this Sunday's services are awesome. And I look forward to getting to visit with you soon.
Yeah, same here.
All right, guys, say thanks to Chad in the chat, and we'll talk soon. Man, I'm super appreciative to having Chad on. Seriously, guys, say thanks. We're going to jump into some more live stream reviews in just another minute. I'm just going to get a quick drink and get these fired up. And, we got another 30 minutes before I got to hop on another call. So why not? Let's keep going if you guys want to. It'd be fun. All right. We still got some guys in the chat. Yes. Thank you, Chad. Amen. That's good. Hey, I saw Larry or somebody was saying that YouTube was buffering. Let me know, is it working okay for you guys? Like I said, we have fiber here at the church, so if it's buffering, it's something to do with the ATEM Mini Extreme. So it appears that everything's fine. The cache is not filled up. It just says okay. So everything should be good. I went ahead and grabbed a hard drive to record that when I saw that comment. So let me know if everything's good on y'all's end. All right. All right, guys, welcome back to, I don't know, it feels like hour number 4, but I think it's hour number 2 of the live stream reviews. We're going to jump into some more live stream reviews. There's been a lot of tech and stuff that's come out in the last month or so, but, you know, I don't have time to go into all of that. This is the week of the big move, basically, for us, moving into out of our current worship center into the next one. So for the 19 of you watching this live, don't be fooled by the saying goodbye thumbnail on the Sunday vlog that will be coming out, okay? I'm not quitting YouTube. It's fine. But you know how it is. I got to have the clickbait in there. But do watch the vlog. It's going to be great. All right. So let's jump into our live stream review here with Jeff. And sorry we didn't get to it. I just going in order of who submitted here. So Tehachapi Vineyard Church, we've looked at you guys quite a few times, but you guys keep making improvements. And so let's pop over here. And I love the way you're doing your intro still, Jeff. So let's go ahead and unmute.
Vineyard Church family, I have a new friend with me this morning. What's your name?
They have 4 Blackmagic Pocket 4s, 4Ks, a GoPro Hero 2 on the drums. That's old, right? Isn't like, I'm surprised it still works. ATEM 4K Studio Switcher, and then an ATEM Production Studio HD, which adds the lyrics downstream.
But I also have to time this right.
Okay.
Time this correctly. So I'm looking at
the lighting
and you and seeing when he needs to go. So we're gonna get ready to let him go so he can do
the video sharpness isn't as good as he wants it to be. So let's look at that and see if maybe it's an encoding thing. I don't think it is based on the specs you're saying, but yeah. I like that you're introducing the online host though. And I see some, you know, it's not as sharp as maybe what I'd want here. Let's go.
I will hand it off to you.
Thanks, Sean. Can I give you a hug? We'll see you soon.
Let's see.
Well, that was exciting. So,
put it in 720p.
You know,
or
last week I
1080.
had a buddy with me. I had Jeff, and he's not with me today, but he will be back. I have a feeling he will be back at some point. But I'm so
yeah,
glad
I mean,
that
it doesn't
you're
look
with us.
super
You're
sharp, but
watching
that
this
could
in
just
your
be a
car,
focus
your
thing there,
home,
Jeff.
Your kitchen or your bedroom. I'm so glad that you're with us. And so I'm looking at YouTube and Facebook, And if you want to leave any of your prayer requests,
I do
there,
have
just
like
say
probably
hi, good
10
morning.
in the
I love it.
queue
We
that are
love it
wanting to be
when you say good
reviewed.
morning or just say really, really into it. Also,
A super chat of $10 does get you to the front of the line, just so you know.
I'm one of the pastors here, so
All
good
right,
to be together.
jumping
I'm
in.
going to invite you to stand if you're able to. Hello to our friends on Facebook and YouTube. Good to be together this morning.
It'd be great if you could go to a camera where she knows that it's addressing you, like the online audience there, and she can kind of look into it. I've tried to start doing that with our tally lights. There's one at our front cam, like at the beginning of service. If I see that it's on, I'll try to look at it when I'm saying like hello to the people online.
We're going to turn our hearts towards Jesus in this place. He's here with us. He's a God who never leaves us.
Lower thirds there going from your two different.
He doesn't look the other way. He's a God who is with us. So why don't we just turn our hearts towards him and we'll welcome him in this place, all right? God, we love you.
A750. It's on sale for $1,000.
Where can I go from your presence? Where can I run from your spirit to meet me there? Spirit to meet me there.
That's pleasant audio. I love your little handheld shot here.
Where can I go from your presence? Where can I hide from your spirit to find me there? Spirit, you find me there. From the highest heights to the lowest lows, from the mountain top to the valley below.
So like, it seems like it's almost as loud as it possibly can be without YouTube compressing it. 0.8 away from YouTube compressing it. Something that's interesting that also YouTube started doing that, which camera am I? 8. If you go into settings and then where's it at? It may not be, okay, stable volume. I don't know. I think this is like automatically for like talking head stuff maybe applied, but for it sees that it's music and it doesn't. But that's a new thing that YouTube has started doing, which I hope that it doesn't do to our services. I was just thinking our vocals seemed maybe a little out front too much. Separation of her on that blue background.
Where can I run from your spirit to meet me there? The spirit to meet me there.
I still feel like your snare drum, like I hear it in the room a little bit or something, or maybe that's the overheads that's picking up more. Like I just wish there was a little more little attack of it. Cross out of focus looks great there. I like that.
Spirit, you find me there. From the highest height to the lowest low, from the mountain top to the valley below. You meet me here. Spirit, you meet me here. You go.
Y'all use tracks? I can't remember. on that railing or something back there, you mounted like a slider somehow. It's like a pipe. Maybe you could mount a slider on it where it got like a shot showing the crowd from the stage point of view. That may not work at all because you've got a cam op always going in front of the stage too, so that may only show like them going back and forth. And it may like be weird. It may not be a good angle. It was just a random thought I had. Seeing, because it's kind of a random spot to have that pipe there. I just wouldn't stay on it that long. And then try to go right on the cut there. Maybe to a wide, you know, of everybody worshiping. She has great vocal. I think that, I'm assuming that's your wife, maybe. You're related somehow, probably. Well, focus. You got little floor lights for backlight. Okay, I see what you're doing there. That helps the separation, though. Exposure on that cam is not as nice for some reason. I don't know. Here we go. I just wanted to see how you're doing the wide stuff. You do have some windows. I love how well lit your drum cage is, by the way. All right, going down the aisle a little. Something different. Why not? Maybe you could try that polarizer trick like Chad was talking about with your drum cage on this roamer to cut down some of those reflections and have your roamer get some shots of your drummer. Yeah, it's good though. All right.
Beautiful house on the hill. What should God do in your
Ooh, I like the cross there.
Kind of, you know, think of as holy. He's a guy that Jesus might.
Yeah, I see what you're saying though. Like,
but when those invitations happen, they were very
focus or something is off
they
there, right?
A certain amount of time.
Like,
they had protocol to them, and the
it's
kind
not
of
as sharp as it should be.
Of the city.
Oh, sorry.
Are you the dregs of the city? No, no one finds me funny this morning. I'll proceed without any jokes. Although those of you watching at home, I'm sure you're roaring with laughter. There would have been a crowd surrounding the table.
I mean, I would just record. Are you recording locally and then comparing that to your online? Because if it looks vastly different, then you know it's an encoding thing. I think you said you use Wirecast. I've had issues with Wirecast. You might just do some tests with different, you know, encoding straight from OBS to YouTube or something else.
This woman not only shouldn't be in that space, shouldn't show her face, she certainly should not touch Jesus. Or any self-respecting first century Jewish man. Not only does she touch him, she rubs his feet with her hair, which should be upkept.
What's your thoughts on the whole pre-show type thing, thinking trying to add it to our online audience to get them more engaged? Thoughts, yeah or nay? So yeah, we do it. I don't know if it helps or not. I don't think it can hurt. I mean, I think it's the goal is trying to get the people watching online to engage and be more than just spectators, to be participants. And I think showing them who's going to be the chat host and actually speaking to them directly instead of it just being like, watch us do church, is a great step in the right direction. So I say if you can do it, definitely do it. I like that you're showing wide shots during sermon. I wish that we would do that more. We're not doing iMag, so I think it's great to show. Anyways, good job, Jeff. You're doing great. Let's see. I'll go on to another one here. Got time for one more. Okay. This is the next one. David Pantel from Woodman Valley Chapel. They have 3 Ursa Broadcast G2s, Pocket 6Ks on Ronin gimbals. On keys, they're using the RS3 with the DJI app with Force Mobile. So like the phone controlling which way it goes. And then they have the middle things control for front stage. Okay, so that's some interesting stuff. I'm not going to read all this to you. I'll look at it while this is going. Let me get it loaded up here. If you guys are halfway enjoying this live stream, why don't you just hit that like button for me? Can't hurt. All right.
Amen, church. Let's sing out. Let's worship him together. The one who keeps my feet from stumbling, the one in whom I rest, the one whose arm is outstretched toward me. He is my God, he's my defense, the one whose shadow keeps me sheltered, the one who hears my cry, the one who never sleeps or slumbers. He is my God.
Those are 85-inch TVs behind them.
I lift my eyes up to the hills, where does my help come from?
Resolume driving those with an NDI feed into Pro Presenter 7.
I lift my eyes up to the hills, where does my help come from? The one who is a faithful Father, the one whose word stands true, the one whose kingdom reigns forever.
So it definitely feels like more like this is for iMag, like a broadcast, the classic like on sticks panning across, the slow zoom in from the other one. Like it's all good, it's moving, the camera shots look great, it seems to be matching the energy, the white balance is good. Might be a little much headroom on some of the shots for my taste, but I mean, I don't have anything bad to say about any of it. It's matching probably the vibe of the song. I don't know, where you're wanting to take it from here, because it's really good. And I think that's the question you have to ask yourself is like, you have great gear, great team, great sound, great video. What's next? And it's like, do you want to take it more cinematic, like more higher energy, where it's less broadcasty, where it's more that Bethel style that Chad was talking about? Watch some of Transformation Worship's channel, watch Bethel, watch some of those others that Red Rocks, and get some people with handheld rigs and get some more energy in these shots. And I think right now, as a viewer, I have a great view of what's happening, but it doesn't really feel like I'm there. It just kind of feels like I'm watching what's on the, probably like the IMAX screen, if that makes sense. High quality stuff, but those are just some questions I would ask. I don't really know what to tell you to like change equipment wise as far as like to make this better. I think it's a good job. Like I see you got the middle control things, it's panning up and doing stuff. It's fine. I like that you're trying to do, you got motion in the shots. Audio sounds great. I think, you know, like we haven't seen a wide shot yet, so I'm not sure. This seems like a really big auditorium, probably some big chapel, but I haven't really seen that. So contextually, you know, where are we living? I don't really know. But yeah, team sounds great. That's about as wide as I've seen. Because you mentioned that all those screens are tied together, but I haven't really been able to see that yet. And maybe I need to go back. Maybe right at the top of service. There we go. Is that as wide as we get?
Well, hello and welcome to Woodman. My name is Matt, and I have the privilege to serve as the campus pastor here at Rock Rimmon. And for those of you joining us online, we are so glad that you are. And let's lift our voices to the one who is worthy. Let's sing together.
I see what you're saying, how those TVs and screen are all tied into one image. That's pretty sweet, man. I love how you did that. I would love to learn more of how you did that. So you're saying that Resolume sees the big screen and those 8 TVs as one. Let me go back to it here. As one. Resolume's driving the TVs plus an NDI feed into ProPresenter 7 to make it one large image between the projector and the TVs. So, yeah, I'm still not understanding. I don't know. I'm not a Resolume guy. So is ProPresenter sending a single image to all of it? Or is Resolume sending it to the TVs and then ProPresenter is getting a separate, sending a feed to the projector? And it's just like figuring it out. I don't know. It works though. I like that. That's a good idea. I mean, reflections aren't terrible on them. Doesn't look like. What about Preach? I'm curious what it looks like for Preach. He seems kind of dark. Oh, did he just change from? Hold on. I swear it just changed colors.
And, you know, it just dawned on me that there are so many people that I think whether or not they like church, they understand the Bible, they're following Jesus, they know that churches are the places they can go in times of need. And my family and I have been at Woodman for about 24 years, and I really believe an army of volunteers that are serving all across our community with organizations like Crossfire Ministries,
Looks really good.
Tri-Lakes Cares, Mercy's Gate.
Seems a little underexposed, but I mean, they look good. There we go. That's cool. Look at that. Nice. Okay. So, ProPresenter receives the video image from Resolume. TV projectors are one big canvas within Resolume. So it's like one massive tied together image. How many? So if they're 4K TVs, is there like a distro box behind the TVs that's like combining the, wait, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14 TVs? Is there like a distro that's sending it to 14 TVs somehow? I don't know. It's very interesting. Probably too much to go into in the comments of a live stream, but oh wait, Preach is another campus? You're saying that this thing was another campus? Oh, it was. Oh. Well, that was a smooth transition. I didn't even notice. Good job. They have a PC with Decklink Duo sending 4 SDI feeds, 4 data paths, distribute image. It's confusing. Yeah. Awesome, man. Yeah. Okie dokie, fellas. I think that's all I got time for today. If you guys were going to attend a conference and you were paying money to, come and learn about this kind of stuff, what kind of tracks would you want to learn about? Are you wanting to learn about like hands-on things? Are you wanting to be inspired? Is it more about like gleaning knowledge from like the industry leaders, like a Chad Vegas, and just like, hey, whatever he wants to teach me that he thinks is valuable, I'm down for? Or is it like I want to bring my team of people who don't know a lot and I want them to be able to come and learn the basics? Is there some certain kind of video tech that you wish that, you could take your people to a conference and learn about in the next year? I'm asking because I'm curious for valid reasons, for reasons that I can't share, I guess. I don't know if I can or not. So comment on this video, on this live stream, and let me know. So I'm excited for the next month to come. We've got Jake from Churchfront coming on the next live stream that is not a full month away. I'll have to get that one on the channel soon. So those of you who haven't gotten in this live stream review, I'll leave it in the pool and we'll see if those can get into the next one. If not, you can resubmit. So yeah, let's see if there's any comments. Bring the team to come and learn basics. Hands-on will be nice. Dustin, thanks. Much love, Rylan. I appreciate you and all you do for God's kingdom. Thank you, Dustin. I appreciate you, bud. Seriously. You've been a great encouragement. Always. Okay. Well, let me know. All right, guys. Well, remember, we can do a lot of great things, right? Let's do it all for God's glory, and we will see you in the next one. Later.